Okay, yeah, because I had 3 Holy Wars started while you guys were while you guys were in the Sunless Citadel. So I'm glad that I was on the right page. I just couldn't find the exact one that it was. All right, great. And then I saw that one because I typed in Holy War because that was like the keyword that I had, but then I couldn't remember why I had 3. So that's good. And then John, that comment is just rude as fuck, but probably not out of line. Okay, Lena, I have a quick note for you, which I'll send to you now, and then we can get the recap for last week. Or if someone would like to give the recap for last week while I'm typing Lena's note, that would also work.
Not
Anyone want to volunteer as tribute?
I haven't done it in a while. I can do it.
Cool, thank you.
All right, so last session, we, as a group, decided to further betray one portion of the party and leave Pinrap in the custody of the kobolds, since he had done some murder on one of them while they were asleep. And so the kobolds decided to let us go, and we began to make our way out of the keep. Bungo did a little persuading, using the friends spell, which the queen, after about a minute, was not particularly enamored of. We decided to go try to see if we could find anything behind the dragon head door. And we did find that there was a room with some cracked orbs in the north in alcoves, and a functional orb that was producing some kind of slow, sad melody in the south of the room. And as we got closer to it, it got louder and louder until it started to literally scare people away supernaturally. We eventually destroyed that, made it through that room, and then made it through a room with a bunch of arrow traps, and then made it to a room that had a spike pit across it, and managed to find a series of 3 secret doors that led us through to a tomb in which a dragon priest was laid with honors, which Sizzler immediately set to work breaking the clasps holding the tomb's cover on, eventually releasing a troll, an undead zombie troll, from the coffin, which we then had a big fight with. There was some kind of smaller creature that was supposed to have been watching it, but once we released it, his watch was apparently over, so he took a couple bites at us and then flew right out. And we eventually killed the troll and burned the body and got some fat loot, and then had to backtrack to get out of the Citadel. We decided to take a short rest, and then on our way out of the Citadel, ran into the Queen of the Kobolds, and she was pretty upset about Bungo casting a spell on her. Then we ended up getting into a fight with a bunch of kobolds, and they all died, and then we ran out and left the Citadel and climbed back up the cliff.
Pretty good. Thank you.
Oh shit, my mic was muted.
no, it was not. Okay, that was pretty good. Does anyone else have anything? Did you guys? Oh, here's one of the questions I had too. Did you guys take a long rest when you got to the top of the cliff? I can't recall.
Yeah, we did.
All right, cool.
4.
Okay. Everyone but Craig hit level 4, I think, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, we took his level.
Right. Okay.
He's actually level 2.
Yeah. Okay, he's level 2, and you guys are level 4. Got it. Perfect. Okay. So is that what everyone else? Craig, you're back down to level 1, right?
Right, but we didn't figure out who took what level, since there was a warlock level.
Oh, true. Yeah, you had to take like
level,
warlock level or whatever the scenario is. Yeah, true.
I figured we were all just going to take 1/3 of each of those.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that works.
So I assume my monk unarmed strike damage is a 1/3 of 1d6.
Yeah, exactly. So you roll what, 1d2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what were the sleeping arrangements? Typically, when you guys do this, it's something along the lines of, if Ivaris because of the way that the nature of how he sleeps.
Yeah, usually take an extra long watch.
Right, an extra long watch. So how was the watch arranged? Give me an order.
I'll take the first and second watches.
Bungo went to sleep right away.
Okay, so Bungo
As
is
he's
on no
going to do.
watches.
Yes, he is sleeping and doing his normal snoring. Bungo bungo.
Okay. Crap. Sorry. Before we go, I just wanted to answer this technical question that John had in the in DM notes that I meant to get to and I skipped over. For my game, like for this game, for Sunless Citadel, if you guys can buy things from the store, from the Twitch chat store, to use for your own characters, but it has to be before the game. It cannot be during the game. It has to be before the game. So if you want to buy like a health potion or whatever to stock your character, totally fine, but just make sure it's done prior to the game. Okay?
Cool.
So everyone, you got it? Does that answer your question, John?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So Bungo's asleep. Ivaris is going to take first and second watch, right?
Yep.
Okay. So is someone gonna? How long is that? Are you gonna? So you're gonna sleep for the second 4 hours? I can't remember the exact.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what is pertinent to how this all resolves is who is going to be awake like approximately when the sun comes up.
Well, it depends. What time do we get out? Because we have no idea what time it actually is.
Sure. It was dark when you got out, and so you don't necessarily have an approximate time as to how long it is, but we'll just say that a full 8 hours of rest would put you a little past daybreak. So we'll say it puts you at like 8 a.m. or something like that. So there's a 2 or 3 hour window where the sun comes up, but some people are still asleep.
Yeah, well, I'd probably still be meditating.
So is anyone awake? Ulfgar is not here.
I guess I can.
I mean, you don't have to. It's not a problem. And I'll just like give you a nod, wink, wink. It's not, you won't like die or anything.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, you awake at, seemingly shortly after daybreak to 3 individuals. One of which is saying, "Hey, wake up!" and kicking dirt onto you guys. Specifically Ivaris. There's one just kicking at you gently, and like it's like flicking pebbles and dirt on you as you meditate. Since you're not like laying down, the others are laying down. You're sort of meditating, so he's like kicking you.
I slowly open my eyes and say, "I wasn't asleep. What can I do for you?"
Yeah, you certainly look like you were asleep. What are you doing?
Meditating. Have you never met an elf?
No.
Well, I can tell you a lot of things about our culture if you've got time.
It's 3. No, sorry. It's 2 dwarves and a human. And he said the dwarf is the one talking to you. He puts out his dwarf hand and he says, "Hey, my name is Tim, and this is my brother Tam." And they look like they're like exactly the same. And he's like, "We're trying to get down to the Citadel, so could you guys get out of our way, please?"
I'll grab his hand and shake his hand and say, "Nice to meet you, Tim. Nice to meet you, Tam." And I'll stand up and start making a little bit more noise and try to wake everybody up. What are you headed to the Citadel for?
We gotta save some kids.
Tough break.
Tough break?
Yeah, did the general store owner send you?
Yep, she said she sent a bunch of idiots, and we're here to save the day.
We're the idiots, and the day is lost.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
I'll tap Bungo awake.
Bungo 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 bungo. Bungo bungo bungo. Yes? I just immediately awake. My senses are a snap to it. I heard everything you said while I was asleep. I
The
immediately processed it.
the three of them just like look very oddly at the small Bungo.
And then I'll just start shaking awake the others as well. So you're welcome to go down there if you'd like. There's a lot of kobolds and goblins kind of in a war. If you want to deal with that, you can.
How long have you been down there?
Well, you can't really see the sun, so I don't know. What day is it?
Tuesday.
The what? Uh-oh.
I don't know, the 5th.
4. Carry the 4. Has to be at least 5 weeks.
It's Tuesday the 5th. What day did you go down?
It's probably been 2 weeks or so.
So are the kids okay, or I don't see them?
They didn't make it, unfortunately.
Oh. Were they dead already, or?
Well, who exactly are you? How do
I'm
we
Tim.
know?
This is my brother Tam.
Tim. Yeah, Tim and Tam.
And the human doesn't say anything. He just nods.
We don't quite understand your relation, and unfortunately, that's information we need to share specifically with the shop owner.
They put their backs together, and like they each hold up their axe in like opposite directions, and they look at you, and they both look exactly identical.
All right, Tammy and Timmy. It's been nice chatting with you, but we really must go.
They say, we're Tim and Tam, the brothers dwarf.
Great.
Famous bounty hunters. Here to save the day.
Okay.
Then they do like a Ginyu Force dance from Dragon Ball Z.
We'll warn you that the Citadel is still sinking, so
yes, be wary as you enter, but we mustn't tarry here, as we have important news. For we are famous ourselves.
Are you the?
You're the famous?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we heard of you. I mean, certainly, you're the famous idiots. I think.
Close enough. You have heard of us.
That's true.
We are the Batmen.
What? I don't remember agreeing to any of that.
Well, it's been established.
All right. Well, you're the famous idiots Batman.
Hold on. It has not been established. That's something that we've heard. We haven't even heard yet.
Yes, we have. That was something established within like the first 2 weeks.
No. That's something she said to goblins. It's never been brought up to the group. This is the first time we're hearing she calling us the Batmen.
Well, we accept you, Batmen, idiots, and we will tell everyone of your glorious name.
And Bungo. The Batman and Bungo.
All right, the Bungo Batman. Great. Well, we would before we're going to go into the Citadel anyway, obviously, because you're idiots, and we're going to check for ourselves since we are, again, famous bounty hunters. That being said, while you were gone,
famous, we haven't even heard of you.
Well, I mean, in dwarf circles, we're famous. I don't see any dwarves among you, so maybe you wouldn't know us. But
I give him a traditional dwarven greeting in Dwarven.
He looks astonished and bows to you, both of them.
I bow back.
The human is just unmoved.
Is Hofgar not with us at all?
Well, I guess he's around, but
still sleeping.
Yeah, he's.
Our
dwarf literally can't
as you both
because he's so big.
He's drunk.
Yeah, he looks like a rock.
A drunk rock. Yes. A snoring drunk rock that smells. Yep, that sounds about right. So what the two dwarves go on to tell you that since in the last 2 or 3 weeks since you were down in the Citadel, there were just massive large-scale wars occurred, basically. The area that you are currently in has been more or less infested with orcs. The town, or the city that you came from, has been defending itself as best it possibly can against the orcs. The ruler of that town had sent, sort of knights and adventurers to, to sort of the outskirts of town to keep the people, the farms, etc., safe from the orc raiders. But the road back to town is still quite treacherous. He also informs you that there is a bounty on certain orc leaders' heads, and that if you were to clear any of the two sort of leaders of the two parties, the two raiding parties that are in the area, that the ruler of the town would give you 200 gold, a 200 gold bounty for per head that you bring back.
Collecting heads. That sounds like something up our alley.
It does sound like it got us in trouble last time, though.
One of the he gives you
Don't
a brief
succeed.
a brief description of the two leaders. One of them has a shredded ear and tries to conceal it by wearing a hood. The other is a tall, slender ranger with a pet warg.
Shred
A
ear
wart?
and wolfman.
It's a pet. Did you say a wart?
Warg.
Oh, warg. I thought you said he had a pet wart.
Yes, he has a pet wart. He he gets on his finger. He covers it up with a glove. So good luck.
On a different orc, but it's his pet.
The he goes on to say that the sort of the experts in the town, the those in charge of strategy, they believe that in the last raid they had killed the leader of the orcs, sort of the orc tribe that's attacking, and that these two sort of essentially the two leaders that have bounties out in your head are two competing warlords to try to take over sort of the larger orc family or party, raiding party, if you will, that's in the area. So there's a bit of competition. What you gather is there's a bit of competition between sort of these two factions of orcs within a larger orc raiding army that has inhabited the area outside of town.
What brought this war on? I hadn't heard of any tensions when we left. 2 weeks is not a very long time.
Yeah, and he just says, I'm not quite sure. Just one day there were orcs raiding from one side, and there were, there's war just broke out all over the world. It's hard to say.
It's almost like a roll of the dice. Sometimes.
It's almost like a roll of a D10,000. War just breaks out everywhere.
1 in 10,000 chance. Who knew?
That's wild.
Crazy how that happens.
It seems like it would be the magic to make that happen would be wild. Yes.
Indeed. Well, I also we're gonna head on our way. So good luck to you. But what I also say is that there was an earthquake while you were down there, and the road back to town was severed. So it's probably going to take you a couple days since you have to go around this large gorge that has now erupted where the road once was.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
Oh, but minor obstacles to us.
They just push past you and start going down. They bow to Ivaris as they push past, and they wave, and they start walking down the stairs.
Well, now we're up. Let's go.
Wait. I want to eye them. Can I make a perception check?
Sure.
I want to see if there's anything sketchy about them that Lena doesn't like.
Sure. You don't notice anything sketchy about them. They seem like 3 glowing and wonderful gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, so I will put you guys back on a path. So I need to find some better maps for this. Particularly, this is prolonged, but the river-esque image. The river-esque image that is on your left is a gorge. You guys put yourself at the top of the map. That is where you're going. Back to heading. I'm assuming you're heading back to town. I apologize. Maybe I shouldn't have made that assumption. You guys just want to go off into the wilderness, not turn your quest in?
Yeah, probably.
We need to turn in the quest. Bungo's turning in the quest. He has a reputation to build.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay, so you walk down the path. You walk down the path. You're following the gorge. Nothing out of the ordinary occurs, but what you could stay where you are for now. It's fine. Nothing out of the ordinary occurs, but from what you recall from your walk there, the land seems unnervingly quiet compared to before, where maybe you would hear some creatures, some woodland creatures. You would hear some birds chirping and things of that nature. There's just nothing. It's just silent. You just hear sort of the crunch of the gravel under your feet and the wind howl from time to time, and each other's breath or whatever noises you all are making. That's the only thing you hear. And it just seems significantly more desolate than it did before. Nothing, particularly unusual, right? Not like you don't see any like bodies or eyes looking at you or anything like that you notice, but it is just you notice that it is significantly more desolate than you had originally noticed. Sizzler, this is like all new to you, so. So you spend some time walking down the path. We'll say that you walk for a couple of hours. Nothing too out of the ordinary. You don't have to, you don't get attacked or anything along those lines. And hold on, let me see if I can get this to pop up on the map properly without deleting the map. Would be super awesome. Nope, that's not a thing. That's also not a thing. Give me that. Oh, there you go. Can you guys see that now?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So let me move back to the.
Must be one of them horseless wagons.
Exactly. You come across. No, that's not what I want. That's what I want. From a distance, you see a two carriage. Oh, actually, hold on. We'll stop there for a minute. You see a two carriages stopped in the middle of the road, and about a dozen men in uniform are lying on the ground, oozing blood. Judging from the number of crows on the scene, the attack happened several hours ago. The guards are most likely all dead. Nevertheless, a young man with boyish looks is desperately trying to help them.
Yeah, I'll run up and see if any of them are alive and can be helped.
Do you want to?
We be of assistance?
The boy says, I don't know. Can you try to save these guys? I'm trying my best.
Can we see if any of them could potentially be saved?
It does not seem like any of them can potentially be saved. He says, I just got here. It doesn't look like I could do anything.
No, I don't think you'll be able to, but that's not your fault.
He seems disheartened.
Can I try to cheer him up with backbone?
with a tackle, did you say? Probably not.
Backflips.
Oh. I mean, if you'd like, yeah, roll what? An athletics or an acrobatics? Yep. Oh yeah. So the backflips are great. The boy still seems sad. Sorry. I mean, they're incredible backflips, but the boy seems very saddened by the loss of life.
What's your name, young man?
He says, "My name's Jack."
Jack,
Jack,
I'm
who
Ivaris.
Who are these people?
I'm not sure. I just got here.
Where are you coming from?
I was coming from the town.
The town?
Yeah, the town. Down that way.
Which town? A lot of towns.
He points behind him.
Does that town have a name?
It's the town you guys came from. I don't recall the name.
Oh, that town. Got
The
it.
town that you guys came from 2.5 weeks ago, even though I've never met you before.
Origin town.
Yeah.
Pallet town.
The starting town where we all started.
Well, what brings you out this way?
It's like I'm trying to deliver a cure. I'm a doctor. A boy doctor.
What's his
Boy,
name?
A
Halsey.
cure for what?
Jack. A cure for an awful disease that's going around.
What disease?
Dysentery.
Oh.
Have you heard of it?
Are we in Oregon?
You have a cure for dysentery?
Yep, I made it myself. I'm a boy genius.
And Halsey.
He still seems really sad though. Despite his I'm a boy genius, his hubris, he seems so sad at the loss of life.
Can we see it?
He seems hesitant to just pull his cure that he invented out to random strangers that happened upon him, particularly on the scene that you all just came across roughly at the same time, which is just murder everywhere.
I'm
Any
a
idea
great and powerful sorcerer. I can see if it actually can cure dysentery. If you show it to me.
It's like
Any of us have dysentery.
I'm a boy genius, and I've already tested it. Thank you very much. I went through peer review, and I published a paper, and it got high marks, and so I think I'm fine. But thank you very much.
I have
who-
dysentery.
You have
Oh, let's
dysentery?
blame it on Ulfgar had it once.
Ulfgar smells like he's got dysentery, but I don't think he does.
All right, so he says he pats the ground and he tries to get you to sit down. I'd be happy to cure your dysentery.
I sit down.
Okay, he reaches out like he's gonna touch you. Do you move or anything?
No.
Okay, so he puts his hand on your forehead and tilts your head back and uses his other hand to open your mouth.
Okay.
Because he takes out a small vial and takes the cork out of it, and he's like, "All right, here we go," and he's gonna pour some in your mouth. Do you move at all?
Nope.
Okay, so he puts 2 drops in your mouth.
I swallow it.
Okay, he's like, "All right, give it 2d4 hours and you'll be cured."
So, do you know who where the soldiers were coming from?
I said, I heard that there were soldiers who were trying to go to the same town that I was, but I left town a little bit late.
Going to the town or coming from?
They were coming from the town, going to the same town that I'm going to. It's on the
Ah.
other side of the Citadel.
Well,
And you've got a cure for dysentery and you're out here alone?
No, I was trying to catch up to them.
Okay, but still.
Look, I'm a boy genius, okay? I'll be fine.
Do you
Does it
know
seem
how
like
many
does it
people
seem
have
like he's lying
died
at all?
from dysentery?
Roll a. Okay, so we'll do this so quickly. So if anyone wants to check if he seems like he's lying at all, feel free to roll insight? Is that what we're doing? Roll an insight, and we'll go from there. Okay, Sizzler. So that insight's good enough. He seems to be telling the truth. I mean, it seems like he's genuinely disheartened by the loss of life. He seems disappointed in himself that he couldn't save anyone, and he's this boy genius doctor. He has this deep sadness in his eyes, and Sizzler, you can also tell from your insight powers of being a Kenku and sort of mimicking people and studying people that he this is not the first time that he's seen many deaths, that he's seen more deaths than most, and that he like takes it really hard every time he sees someone die, and it like leaves a noticeable scar on his soul.
That's quite some insight.
No, Jesus.
Okay, so let's see. You want to, Bungo, you're moving over?
Yeah, I would like to. There seems to be enough chefs in the figure out what's going on with this boy kitchen deal. I'd like
Sure.
to start searching the wagons.
Sure.
See,
So roll me some sort of intelligence-based check.
how about wisdom? Since I'm used to packing wagons, I know where to look.
What are you suggesting?
Perception
Sure.
or insight or an insight.
Yeah. Okay, do one of those. I'm fine with either of those. That's fine. Okay, sure. So the crest on the carriage indicates that it was transporting a noble. You identify the crest. You recognize the crest from when you were in the origin town, as we'll call it. It was the crest. It wasn't the crest of the ruler of the town, but it was a crest of one of the nobles in the town. One of the nobles, like a higher up noble than the shopkeeper, one that like lived in inside of the castle with the ruler, like one of those like high up nobles. And it was the crest of the De Bruyne family. And if you as you rummage around, and I'm assuming you're going through some of the packages and luggage and cases and things of that nature, or
Certainly, yes.
sure. So you it's mostly clothes and other provisions with regard to like someone moving, and you hold the clothes up to you, and they're like Bungo sized clothes.
Goodness, this gets me certainly interested. Can I, even though they're bungo sized, do I know if they're specifically halfling?
No, it actually seems like they are not halfling. It seems like they're human.
Oh, okay. There's some short humans. There's some short humans that are missing. Can I see on the field if there's an approximate match for this clothing?
Sure. So you if you inspect the general layout of like the area, we'll say like, I don't know, within the vicinity.
Yeah.
You glance around the vicinity, and you do not see any individual of that size. There are several obviously guards that are dead or laying in pools of blood. There are also, it seems like they were caught off guard from the way that they were attacked, where they're sitting. Perhaps the assailants were hiding behind rocks or things of that nature, or bushes overlooking the road. But there are 3 large puddles of blood that are not around any of the guards, and track. You can vaguely tell that they track away from the area.
All right. Well, I'll let the group know the hypothesis of the nobles getting kidnapped and ambushed on this
just to be abundantly clear, Bungo, you don't see like other size clothes. You just see this one size of clothes.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And they're obviously not here, so they must be kidnapped.
Yeah, they do usually call those small humans children. So literally kidnap that guy.
I mean, you don't know that. It could just be a small human. I've seen small humans that are adults. Kind of presumptuous.
Jack,
he did say they look like clothes. They're not like kid clothes. Right? There's no like race cars or something.
I mean, you can assume, it's safe to assume from the size that, one, it's safe to assume from the time period that race cars don't exist. 2, it's safe to assume from the clothes that it is likely a male child. You don't see any or multiple male children. You don't see any female clothes, or what you would assume to be female noble clothes. There's no dresses or anything.
Sure. So I'll tell them, that this noble, putting my powers together, this noble family came out, got ambushed from O-Town, and now their kid, and perhaps them, because I don't see any other nobles on this field, are missing.
So everyone roll a perception check for me, except for Bungo. What's your passive? 60. Yeah, you don't need to. Anyone else roll a perception for me? Okay, so Lena and Bungo, you notice a small raccoon, not like just a normal sized raccoon, just not a very large raccoon, but a small creature, a raccoon, darts out from one of the wagons and runs and like wraps itself around, like hides behind Jack's leg.
I'm still on the ground, so I'm just gonna like kind of bend my head a little bit to look underneath the cart. Anything else there?
Nothing else is under the cart. No.
Did he react to the raccoon hugging his leg?
Yeah, he like looked down and smiled a little bit. He's still sad, but he looked down and sort of smiled.
Has Lena's dysentery faded?
I posted some notes about dysentery in the in chat. I'll read them.
No, we read it.
Which always results in severe diarrhea.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
Know if she actually had dysentery.
That was my favorite part. Always.
So Jack says, "Look, I really need to make it to the town. Could you guys maybe take me there? You could take me back. That's okay. I feel like I'm probably not safe here now that I've seen all this murder."
Well, the other option would be you hide in one of the carts, and we go look for this kid, and then we get the kid, and then come pick you back up and take you both to town.
I mean, look, it doesn't. The order of operations doesn't really matter to me, to be quite frank, as long as I don't die. But look, I will give you 50 gold each and a couple of potions of my own design if you escort me to safety back to A town.
I'm gonna pick up the raccoon.
Okay, so Jack takes a step back from you when you reach out to him, and the raccoon like takes a step back from Jack, and he says, "Oh, that's my pet. His raccoon. His name is Barnaby. He does not like to be touched."
Can I do an insight check on Barnaby?
Sure. You notice that Barnaby's a raccoon. I mean, was there anything
does not like to be touched?
Yeah, who does not like to be touched? Is there anything specific that you're looking for in terms of?
We just got told one of the leaders is like a little like dude with a warg or whatever, and now we meet like this random ass kid in the middle of nowhere by himself with a freaking raccoon pet.
Oh, I see.
A warg in D&D is not the same as in Game of Thrones. A warg is like a big fuck off, angry wolf type thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but still,
Ivaris' history check pans out, and that is a very correct answer.
Okay. This kid turns into like a wolf thing. I'm gonna blame Ivaris.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
I mean, yeah, I am in fact the root cause of all lycanthropy in this world. So that's been established.
All right, so you have a mini quest from Jack, it seems. He's offering you, if someone wants to write it down, 50 gold pieces each if you escort him to safety. Again, any town will do, either where he was heading or just back so we can get another caravan. He just wants to not die out here in this field. And a couple potions, a handful of potions that he designed on his own.
Well, show me the money first.
He reaches into his little pack and he pulls out a sack and he shakes it. It seems to be pretty full from the sound, and then he pulls the string back a little bit and flashes it open and shows the inside. that it is indeed gold.
Let's go.
Could you hide in one of these caravans or walk quietly behind us, and we can maybe try to find this missing kid?
Yeah, I would prefer not to be here by myself. Raiders tend to raid, but I can be very, very quiet.
Is everybody okay with us trying to look for this missing noble child?
I mean, the other children aren't going to be undead, right? They're not going to be undead when we get back to the town a week later. So, yeah, sure. This seems like a noble cause.
I pull out my notebook and I flip to the very back and I write that down and I just glare and then I close my notebook.
All right, so of course, at the very back, I'm curious to see what the reasoning for that is. We can go over that later. The okay, so you guys gonna do like you gonna search the area for tracks or something along those lines? I assume.
Yes.
All right. All right, Ivaris, Lena, anyone else searching for tracks?
They're searching.
All right. So Lena, Ivaris, as you search, you see a couple things actually. One thing that you see, Ivaris, is that there's a dead guard about 50 yards away from the carriage that you can't really see from where Bungo's vantage point was, just glancing around. He's much, much, much closer to the woods, sort of like behind a rock, if you will. And a quick inspection reveals that a small creature ran away from the scene. And it seems like, from the way that the blood patter was and the way that the little footsteps were, that the guard seemed to have died protecting its retreat. Additionally, both you and Lena pick up the trail that leads to seemingly that one trail of other small feet seem to be roughly the size of a human child. And you actually see another larger set of tracks that lead in a separate direction.
So there was a guard over behind some of these rocks, and it looked like there was something that ran off into the woods that he was perhaps protecting. And then there's a separate set of smaller footprints a different way.
No, there's there was the guard was protecting something, right? Something small. You find a set of footprints that are small as well, approximately the size of a human child. And then you find a separate, like in another area, right? You find large footprints heading into the woods in a separate direction. So from your investigation, it would seem that maybe the guard and the child are, the footprints for the small footprints are one and the same. And the other ones might be perhaps some orc raiders that were leaving.
We should follow this trail of smaller footprints. I think we should try to get this kid safe.
Yes, let's go.
All right, so you start tracking the into the woods. Let's see. So you follow and this is I don't have a great map for this. I'm gonna have to find some or build some of my own maps for some of the story. But the basically you follow the small tracks, and it brings you to the ravine that cuts in the way, sort of the earthquake that occurred while you all were in the Sunless Citadel that caused it to fall several feet deeper. Also created an additional large ravine that cut off the track back to the town. So instead of it keep taking several hours, you now have to track around the ravine, which will take several days, or I guess if you wanted to try to go down in it and then out the other side, but that seems treacherous from your vantage point. But with your survival roll, Ivaris, it was great, and so it's fairly easy to track the small footprints. You come upon the ravine, and you as you look down the ravine, you see a small boy who seems to be lying unconscious at the bottom of the pit.
How far down is it?
It's pretty far down. It's approximately how far down the Sunless Citadel was into the ravine.
Wow, we're getting good at this. We found him right away.
Apparently he didn't make it very far.
No, he did not.
Is he dead?
I mean, he may be dead for all you know.
Does it seem like a light, nimble, yet strong person could crawl down easily?
Not easily, but you could crawl down.
Nope. I'm gonna tell everyone to hold hands around the edge, and then I'm gonna cast Featherfall, and we're all just gonna slowly fall down the hole.
How are we gonna get back up?
We'll figure it out later.
Well, maybe some of us should stay up here and start tying together some ropes.
Too late. I already cast it.
Well, I'm not jumping
Who's jumping in?
I'm jumping off, full on, arms up, legs out, not even holding hands.
Swan dive?
I mean, yeah, kind of like a parachuter out of a plane.
All right, so Bungo jumps in. What are you doing, Lena?
No, I cast Featherfall. It's up to 5 people.
I mean, you can cast it on everyone. That doesn't mean everyone.
I'm not jumping.
I'm gonna lounge and put my arms behind my head and just slowly fall down and chill.
Lena, are you gonna try to pull any of your comrades in with you as you jump?
Oh yeah, I already pushed him off.
Okay, so you're pushing Ivaris off.
You did.
Okay, so you're gonna have to roll against Ivaris's dex save.
What am I rolling?
I would imagine you're rolling some sort of strength or dexterity. You can choose.
To Sizzler, this looks pretty much like flying, so he's just going to go ahead and jump and flap his arms.
Okay. All right, so you have to beat a 13 of Ivaris if you don't want to be pushed into the pit. Oh, all right. So, Lena, you try to push Ivaris in, but he's just too nimble, and
I just step to the side.
Yeah, you end up going in without.
Well, then get down the hole yourself, you jerk.
So you
have fun not dying.
You say that to him as you gracefully float down. Have fun not dying.
Yeah, I go back to the carts and start looking for enough rope to, get these idiots back out.
All right.
Sure, I can climb up.
Don't you guys? I thought someone has rope in their pack, don't they?
I do, but guess where I am now?
At the bottom of it.
Sure. Doesn't really help them though when they're all the way down there.
All right, Ivaris, give me
chuck it up.
Give me an investigation. You find rope, but it does not seem like it's going to be enough to make it to the bottom of the pit. Okay, so the rest of you, anyone who went into the pit, is now standing over a small boy.
I'm gonna cast Healing Hands on him.
All right, do it.
I'm gonna start tying off rope to a sturdy tree or something up here so that I can at least throw it over the edge and get them part of the way back up once they're there.
Okay. So Ivaris, while you're doing that, Lena casts Healing Hands on the small boy, and you see him slowly, you see his eyes slowly parting.
Hey, sup?
his eyes like finally make it all the way open, and he says, "Sup?"
Is he barely alive? Does he seem hurt?
He seems I don't know. You can't really tell. He seems like he's injured, certainly. But I don't know that he. I wouldn't say that he's barely alive. I mean, Lena did just heal him, so he seems like he's in pain. We'll put it that way. Are you gonna? He looks back at you guys. He goes, "Are you here to kill me?"
We're here to save you. We're the heroes.
You don't look like heroes.
Rude!
Heroes take many shapes and sizes. Maybe one day you'll grow to be a hero. Now, how did you get down all the way down here?
It's like he looks up. He like tilts his head and he looks up where he came, like where the cliff was that you guys just came down. He goes, "I guess I fell when I was running away from those orcs who were trying to kill me."
Well done. You got away and you lived. Now it's time to get you back up. Was anyone else with you?
He's like, no one else from my family was traveling with me. I just had some guards. Did any of them make it?
No, I don't think so.
Did he just cut out?
No, he asked you a question, and there's a very awkward silence.
And he's like, "Why is
No,
everyone
I
being
didn't hear
so?"
the question.
Because
That
why is everyone
was-
being so quiet?
Pause was so pregnant it was lactating.
Say again.
Nice.
You have to talk into my good ear.
I said, "Did any of my friends, the guards, did any of them make it? They were taking care of me."
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry, they won't be down
Unfortunately-
for breakfast.
Oh,
They died doing what they loved to do, protecting you.
that's not great. It doesn't really make me feel any better.
So you didn't have any family with you? It was just you?
No, just
All right,
me.
Well,
I was on my way to visit family.
well, do you have family back at O-Town?
Yes.
Well, we're headed there, and we can escort you and another fellow that we found on the way back to O-Town, so perhaps you could arrange for another party or something. But I'm sure that they would like to know what happened here.
My dad lives in O-Town. I guess you could bring me back there.
It's settled. This wonderful woman who's healed you, she magically floated us down, and she will magically float us up. And go! Engage! Make it so!
I don't think it's working. I don't feel any different.
Okay, so Wiz, bear with me. So what if we tied ourselves together with some rope and then like positioned ourselves at the edge of this cliff or whatever that we're down, and then I cast magic missile at the ground behind us? Will that launch us up?
How long does your feather fall last? Let's see. Because I like the ingenuity here, I'm gonna let you try it.
A minute.
A minute. Okay. Well, yeah. Cast feather fall. If you cast feather fall again, and then you try it, this is what's gonna have to happen. Everyone's gonna have to jump at the same time. Okay. So we're gonna need some dex saves from everyone. You're gonna have to jump at the same time. It'll be a fairly low DC on the jump, obviously. Then you're gonna shoot the ground with magic missile, and you're gonna hope that projectile projects you to the top. Or are you gonna try to catch Ivaris's rope? I mean, how is the rest of it gonna go?
Can I
I'll
play the
try
role
to
of
get to the
Ivaris?
top, and if we can't get to the top, we'll catch the rope.
Okay. All right. So this is what I need. Give me. Is everyone going to participate in this crazy idea, or are some people
I'm
not
into
going
it.
to do that? All right.
No, I'm into it. I want to fly.
The worst
Oh,
is we
I
fall
am
slowly back
for
down.
sure going to be taking notes when I see them tying themselves together.
All right. So you tie the small boy up with you guys, right?
Yep.
All right.
And-
Wait! Before we do this, to decrease the level of difficulty, can I put a person or two into my bag of holding so that they don't weigh anything?
I don't think does that kill people if you put them in the bag of holding?
No, they have 10 minutes of air per medium-sized creature.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have 2 people in there, they got like 5 minutes worth of air.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you want to stuff people in there, go for it.
What does Bungo weigh? Like nothing, right? So I could probably put 3 people in there.
But it
No.
cuts the time in half that they can breathe. That's what you have to keep
Bungo
in
is
mind.
not going into
Take
your
us
sack.
5
That's
minutes
just
to
not
do
happening. Not happening.
Bungo.
Not happening.
What about
Negative.
the kid?
I'm gonna ask the kid. I'm just gonna put him in the bag.
All
Why
right.
don't we
He's
put
like,
you in the bag and
Reverse
give us
Santa
the
Claus
bag?
over here.
yeah. He's like, all right, please don't kill me.
Why don't you jump in the bag and then we can carry the bag up?
That's what I have in there. So yeah.
The boy jumped in the bag. The boy's already
boys
in.
boys in the bag. Okay,
Time's a
so
ticking.
that's last wait. Shake the bag and gesture for Bungo to hop in.
You hop in. I'll carry the bag since you're the heaviest. You're the
I
heaviest.
will help lift up Bungo, Sizzler, and help you put him into the bag.
The 2 of us are gonna wrestle Bungo into the bag.
All right, you're gonna have to beat. You're
Never
gonna have to
gonna
beat
catch
Bungo's
me.
dex save. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to catch him, but I'll allow it. Go ahead, make either
What's
a
their
dex,
speed? What's their speed to begin with?
make a dex or a strength. Yep.
How about if I use an intelligence roll to anticipate which direction he's gonna run?
Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'll tell you what. I will do this. I'll give either Katie advantage, meaning you can use her 17, or you can also roll. Sizzler.
We'll just go ahead and take that 17.
Okay. Bungo, you get to do a dex save with advantage.
Um,
You don't even need it. Okay. All right. So Bungo evades capture. 17's pretty good though.
Yeah, especially with only a mod of 1. That's
Yeah.
a nice
it's
roll.
close.
It was close, yeah. Closer than it should have been.
I like to keep it
Bungo.
interesting.
You are the worst.
Put the bird in the bag. He weighs more than I do.
Fine. Sizzler, get in the bag.
There you
Go
go.
into my
Sizzler.
own bag. that's just not happening.
Oh, it's okay for the halfling, but not for the bird, huh?
Wait.
Yeah,
I take
that's how
a
it
piece
works.
of bread out of my backpack and I throw the crumbs a little bit at Sizzler's face and then I drop the rest of the bread in the bag. 'Cause he's a bird.
Sigh.
Wait,
That's
is that
bread.
racist?
Oh, fucking racist.
That's racist, right?
Super racist.
It's not racist. It's a treat.
That's some shit that the Ku Claw clan would do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like threw it in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going in the notebook too.
Wait, come on. But guys, Lena
Clear
has
from
other
my reaction that I have now determined that she's a racist.
Yeah, but guys,
all over my face.
Lena has other Kenku friends though, so
That's my
So it's okay.
backstory, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, why wouldn't Sizzler get in his own bag?
Her doctor is a Kenku.
Why wouldn't Sizzler get into his own bag?
Since he's not getting in the bag.
Yeah, seems like a trick.
There's a very limited amount of air in that bag.
Is the boy gonna be okay?
Yeah,
Is
you hear the boy.
dead?
You hear the boy shouting, "Guys, the air is getting pretty thin in here."
I'm just gonna start tying the 3 of us together then.
Can we try to get Sizzler and throw him in his bag?
Of course.
Since they tried to do it to me.
Definitely.
So yes, I will evade and then try to
take the bag from me, and then catch me, and then stuff me in the bag.
No, just stuff you into the bag. just in one fell swoop.
The bag is in my possession. You can't stuff me into something that I'm holding.
You just had the bag open to try to stuff me in it.
He's got a good point. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You can each roll strength only because you have to separate Sizzler from the bag and then also get Sizzler in the bag. So strength. Give me a strength. Oh my god. Oh no, Sizzler, you don't have to roll strength. Sizzler, you can roll strength or dex.
Or dex. Sure.
Okay. Unfortunately, Bungo rolled like a god tier strength save. So
I should have advantage like he got.
He got advantage because no, he got
No.
it. Oh, I did give him advantage on his.
No.
I did.
You didn't take it.
You didn't take it, but I did give you an advantage. Sizzler's.
I had a good reason to have an advantage. I'm faster than them. Like my base speed is 35. I don't think.
I also have a good reason. I'm holding the fucking bag.
And not only,
you're fighting two of us.
And not only that, but you guys were telling him that you were putting him in the bag, so he knew that you were going to try to do that.
This is freaking sneaky.
Okay.
Well, while we're all bickering, I'm tying the three of us together.
Okay. So you tie the three together. All right. Now, Sizzler's advantage roll evades being stuffed in the bag. All right. So are you three going to try to jump and shoot this magic missile thing?
Yep.
All right. So here's what I want you to do, Lena. 1, I want you to all roll dex saves without advantage, just straight dex saves. Okay, 10's fine. Sizzle, you rolled a 5. Okay, Bungo, roll yours.
What am I rolling? A dex save?
Inconsequential, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so Lena and Katie, do you mind just switching your thing to Lena? I keep almost saying Katie because I'm a derp. Lena and Bungo jump and time the magic missile. Sizzler,
I jump late.
Yeah, you do like a half jump. So, Lena, roll a 1d200. Okay, so you guys shoot slowly, but nonetheless you shoot 107 feet in the air, which is enough to clear the ravine. Sizzler, however, apparently was not fastened properly by the rope and only manages to go up approximately 50 feet, which he still needs, we'll say, another 50 feet to make it out of the ravine. So Sizzler's just like floating.
You just untied me in the air?
No, it just wasn't. You just weren't tied in well, we'll say. So Sizzler and the bag of holding with the child in it are floating approximately, like their velocity had brought him to approximately the apex to approximately 50 feet in the air. Lena and Bungo, you made it 107. You only needed 100 to get out of the ravine. So you have safely landed on outside of the ravine if you so desire.
Start flapping.
I've been flapping the whole time.
How far down is the rope hanging?
The rope is hanging approximately 50. So you think that Sizzler could probably get to the rope?
Yeah, I'll try to bring the rope towards Sizzler.
Try to grab said rope.
All right, give me some sort of dex scenario. What are you going to use to move the rope, Ivaris? I'll let you say that.
My arms and my legs. I'll just grab the rope and then walk to where it is hanging straight down to him.
What kind of a roll would you propose to help Sizzler?
I'm just gonna. Can I just take the help action to give him advantage?
That's fine. Yep. Okay, so you have advantage on your dex, Sizzler.
Wait, so is he like falling at normal speed, or should I cast Featherfall on him again to kind of like slow him down so he can catch?
No, he's still moving slowly. Featherfall is still clearly affecting him.
Help me at all?
Say it again.
You have advantage.
I have advantage, but can I have double advantage?
You cannot have double advantage, no. Oh yeah, I mean that. Yeah, you crushed it. Yeah, you grab the rope.
All right, I start reeling him in.
All right, and he's super light because of Featherfall too, so it takes like no time at all for you to get him to the top. The rope is heavier than Sizzler.
Flapping. I'm holding on with one hand and flapping with the other.
With that deck save, you like you can hold on with literally whatever you want. 1 foot, like
I'll hold on with
your
one
beak.
foot,
I mean,
my
literally
claw,
whatever you want. Yeah.
and I'll just flap my arms. Feels like I'm flying.
Sizzler's like your dream basically right now. You're flying.
Super slowly, but
so-
this is what I imagine flying is like.
All right, so you all make it to the top. Sizzler's beautiful display of flight. You all witness it. It's fantastic. It's glorious. And you are all safely at the top. This whole ordeal took approximately 5 minutes from when you put the child in the bag.
I open the bag and get the kid out.
The kid goes,
My bag.
just his head pops out while Scissor's still holding the bag, and he's like, "Oh, it was getting pretty stuffy in there." He's like, he taps you on the shoulder. Sizzler's like, can you let me out?
Yeah, I pull him out.
Okay. Oh, he like shakes himself off a little bit. He's like, oh, all right, thanks for getting me out of that pit. What's the plan?
We're gonna head back to O-Town.
He says, all right, if we have to, but I mean, I guess I'm pretty sure that my dad will pay pretty handsomely for bringing me back safely.
Is
His little
there anything that we should grab out of these carts that you were taking that you want to make sure doesn't get lost?
First, to answer Scissor's question, Jack was just like observing the whole time. Jack and Barnaby were just sort of like watching from where behind Ivaris, nervously looking over his shoulder for orcs and things of that nature. The boy's like, no, not really. It was mostly just my clothes. I was going to live in going back to visit family, and then I was going to go back to where I live.
So
I don't live with I don't live with my dad.
Great. Why don't you just grab whatever you can carry to make your life easier on the trip back, and we'll get going soon. By the way,
he grabs nothing.
this is. Do we catch his name?
No, you did not ask him his name, and he did not ask you what your name was.
So we definitely do the awkward, like, meet this person type deal when you don't know their name. Hey, meet this person, and I wait for him to say his name.
He's like, my name's Oysen de Bruyne.
Oysen, I'm Ivaris. This is Jack. The raccoon's Barnaby.
He tries to touch Barnaby. He's like, ooh, Barnaby. And he reaches his hand out, and Barnaby like hisses at him.
Apparently he doesn't like to be touched.
Yeah, Jack's like, I wouldn't touch him. He's like, I don't even touch him. And Oysen just like takes a step back.
So this is our traveling group, and we'll be heading back to O-Town. So stay close.
All right, keep me safe, please. And like I said, I'm pretty sure my dad will give you a pretty big reward for saving my life.
No problem, Oyster.
All right, I'll take up the rear guard.
Did you guys kill those orcs, or?
We haven't encountered them yet.
Yes, we totally killed these orcs. Your father should give us gold for doing so to protect you.
Oh, do you have their heads somewhere, or?
Yeah, but I don't want to take them out right now because it's gross.
All right, well, I'm pretty sure that he's going to want to see the heads if he's going to pay you for it. Just that's how it works usually.
Cool. So also, guys, like, I need to do lady stuff. So why don't you guys go ahead and I'll hang back a little bit while you keep going.
What? No, it's super dangerous. We're not splitting up.
I'm gonna do message to Ivaris
Private. She needs
and
privacy.
tell him
Have
to.
some manners.
Yeah, I'm sending a message to Ivaris with my cantrip to tell him to shut up so I can get the heads.
Does message allow me to reply?
Yeah, I think one
Yes.
reply.
It's a raiding party that killed 12 seasoned guards, and you're going to do it yourself?
No, there's gotta be dead hordes around here, right? There's dead orcs, right?
Yeah, there's no, there are no dead orcs actually.
Oh, never mind.
Pitched
of
battle, I
ours.
guess.
You know, you could learn some manners and proper social skills.
Who are you saying that to, Bungo?
Oh, to Ivaris.
Oh.
I just
honestly,
drum my
doesn't get-
fingers on my book.
He doesn't get bro code at all. And now he doesn't understand female privacy issues.
As you guys are like having this, I don't know, discussion, Oisin and
Dumb
Jack
argument.
Oisin and Jack are talking to one another, boy to boy, off to the side.
We should go back to town now and not try to fight a bunch of raiding orcs with these two kids with us.
Is that message to in your head?
No, that's just me saying it.
Well, yeah, no one's suggesting that.
I would like to, out of sight, perhaps on the other side of the cart here, find a body of one of the guards and take their uniform for later use.
Sure. There's now a nude guard. And you have his uniform. It seems to be pretty well intact. You picked one that like wasn't chopped up too much. Hacked into pieces. Okay, so after sort of these events, I wouldn't say that it's getting dark, but we'll say it's after midday, and you probably have, it's probably several days travel south to get back to O-Town.
Do we know how far it would be normally to get to the town to the north?
You are not sure how long it takes to get to the town to the north. You have never been.
Jack, do you know how far from here it is to the town to the north?
Nope, I've never been.
Oisin, you've been, right?
It says, no, I've never been.
Well, we can head back south a couple days, or we can head north an unknown amount of time.
We're gonna head to O-Town. This makes the most sense.
Okay.
Agreed.
I know what's has been on your mind, that distant look in your eyes. I thought with time you'd realize it's over. Oh goodness. Sorry. There's an O-Town song. Have you guys ever heard O-Town?
Yeah, I'm like really. I wish that there was a way that I could reasonably play like short clips of music in this thing, because I was totally like, man, this would be the perfect time to play an O-Town song. It's like it's like 20 seconds of it.
O-Town came to Tyson's to play this summer.
What?
They played at the mall.
Get out of here. This summer?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so it's about, like I said, it's after it's afternoon. So are you guys going to travel along the ravine for the second, or the rest of the day, I guess, until it starts to get dark, or
I believe that's the plan.
or are you going to? So I guess, you have infinite options, I suppose. The two most reasonable options, though, are either travel along the ravine for the remainder of the day, or to search the orc tracks. But I think that you decided you didn't want to engage the orc raiding party.
Yeah, not with kids. And I think maybe we should try to stick to inside the wood line, so we're not just exposed out in the open.
I think we would travel faster. Just staying on the road, especially with these kids, it'd be harder to keep track of everyone.
Well, it's not a road per se, but it's like the edge of the ravine now, because the ravine has cut the road essentially in half horizontally. So the ravine now forms like an L shape, or a T is a better example actually. The ravine now forms a T, and you're coming from the top, and so you're sort of in the leg portion of the T now. So you'd have to go around it and then follow the real road back down. But point well taken, Bungo, because there's like when the crack happened, when the earthquake happened, there is it revealed space along the edge of the ravine. So your options are, I suppose, if this is what your thought process is, you could either walk inside of the tree line, like Ivaris has suggested, or you can walk along the edge of the ravine, which would be clearer and potentially faster, but also probably more dangerous.
Well, could we get around the ravine today?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's probably take you about a day or a day and a half to get from where you are to the tip of the ravine, and then like another day and a half to get back to the road, and then the remainder of the time to get from that part of the road to back to town.
I just want to speed away from this area right now. Once we're further away, I don't really particularly have a preference if we're going to pass it tomorrow no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably get further along the ravine if you, so long as nothing happened. You could probably get further along the ravine if you traveled literally along the ravine as opposed to in the woods, but you're probably less likely to be seen or have any other like danger issues. I mean, you're traveling next to like a huge ravine if you traveled in the woods, but it would probably be slower. So that's your sort of
Understood. You say it was a day and a half to get to the top of the ravine or get around the ravine anyway. And if we have
to get to the tip of the ravine, it's probably about a day or a day and a half. To get like from the tip then down the south side of the ravine on the O-Town side, right? So like you're on the Citadel side of the ravine so far.
Sure.
It's going to take about a day and a half to get to the tip of the ravine, the corner, and then you crest over the corner to the O-Town side. It'll probably take about a day and a half to get back to the road on the other side of the ravine, on the O-Town side of the ravine, and then it'll take however long, half a day or what have you from that side back to town.
Quite literally doesn't matter then. It's going to be a day before we get around the tip of the ravine anyway. So
sure. I mean, if you walked the ravine side, right, you could probably limit it to a day if you walked in the ravine, like right on the edge of the ravine. Granted, so long as no trouble occurred. If you walk in the woods, it'll take the full day and a half, definitely.
I think it's safer to just take the woods route. We're less likely to run into trouble.
It quite literally just doesn't matter. We have half a day. We can't reach the ravine. We can't go around the ravine today. So might as well be safe as soon as we get away from this immediate area. So like maybe after a mile or so, we can duck into the woods.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so you all set off. You all are leading Jack and Oisin into the woods, I guess, on the edge of the ravine. How are you all?
I'll take the front. I'll take vanguard position.
Okay. The ravine is going to be the road, and you guys are going to be on the left side. Not that it matters a ton. You could stay at the top for now. So can one of you please roll me a 1d20, please? Doesn't matter who it is. Just let's get a 1d20 roll.
Whammo.
All right. So you travel for approximately the other half of the day, and it is starting to get dark. But the other half of the day goes by without much fanfare. It's just basically Oisin sort of keeping to himself, talking every now and again to Jack, and Jack is just babbling about like his studies and what he learned. Like, even though he'll just be like, oh, Bungo, guess what? And like just talk about like, the tree that you're walking by and like all the biological the type of tree it is, and like the Latin name for the tree, and like why the Latin name for the tree is that, and like what its properties are, and like what he's used it for in the past. And like he does that for like every single thing that you pass. Like, oh, did you see that dirt? That red dirt is, and like just going on and on and on.
Why do you know so much about trees?
I'm a boy genius.
I'd like to engage in a conversation with him where we're just talking past each other.
Sure.
I'm just regaling him of my stories ad nauseum, and he's
Sure.
just talking about whatever else.
So like you start telling him a story, and then like he'll pick like something from the story and be like, "Oh, I know all about that," and he'll just start talking about it. And so you're talking about like, a tale of you doing like one thing or another, and he'll be like, "Backflips. You know what I know about backflips?" And he'll just babble on about like body like being triple jointed, and like all of the different medical like theories for why that can occur.
And I can imagine, like, as this going back and forth, this must be the most annoying conversation.
Yeah.
Here,
the rest of the group definitely wants to murder both of you and leave you in the ravine.
Rancid bacon back in my ears.
I'm looking around for a good place to make camp. Maybe see if the earthquake has knocked over any kind of trees and like a three sides of a square sort of thing pattern.
Sure. I don't think you find it. Roll a survival for me. Yeah, you don't find like three sides of cover, but you can find like at least one fallen tree that you can probably camp aside, which will give you like a half cover, like a half side of cover.
All right, this seems like a good spot to make camp. I think we should have 2 people on watch at a time.
All right, so for this traveling series, right, until you make it back to the road, I want you to be like fairly explicit with regard to like setting up the camp. Like, what does the camp look like? Are you making a fire? Do you eat? Do the boys eat? Like how it's going to go?
No fire, trail rations. I should still have some left over.
All right. While you guys are making those decisions or talking about it or what have you, I'm gonna run to the bathroom as is tradition. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Can we take a bio break real quick?
Yeah, 5-minute break. Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute break. All right. Ugh. Everyone back or no?
I am.
We're just waiting on Bungo, I guess.
So my thoughts on the camp were our latrine is going to be at least 100 yards away from any water supply. We'll dig 18 inches deep and we'll shit in the hole and then cover it up when we're done.
Okay, that's the level of detail that I'm looking for.
We're going to put all of our packs on the end of a rope and then throw it over a tree branch that's at least 15 feet high. Keep our packs raised at least 10 feet off the ground if they got any food in them. Keep bears from getting it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna sleep in a tree.
All right, so you're sleeping in a tree. What
Yep.
do you make any provisions for the boys and what they're going to be sleeping in? Again, is there a fire? Are you a small fire, a large fire? Like what are you like? How's this all going? What do you eat specifically? What are the rations or stuff like that? Bungo's in a tree.
Yeah, and I'm folding over branches, so I can make a nice little hammock. of
I have a
branches and-
tent in my backpack, so the kids can sleep in the tent with me. And I
Okay,
have like
so-
a bedroll.
All right, so you're gonna put the tent out. You let the kids stay in it.
I've got 4 days worth of rations, so I figure they probably eat a half a day's worth of rations for a day each.
Sure, they're small.
As a bird
Yeah, I'll
person,
cover
I
it.
am also going to go into the tree and just kind of stand on a branch and blend in, and rather eat the bread that Lena threw into my bag.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. Way to stoop so low.
Okay, so anyone who's eating, I want you to make a perception check.
16.
Yeah. Lena? All right, so the Bungo, Ivaris, and Sizzler, you notice that your food looks a little strange. Lena, I need you to roll 3d6. Okay.
Do I die of dysentery?
No. So
Now you have it.
no, but so Jack does inquire though as you are like as they're setting up the tent. He's like, so I think the time's passed, right? How's your dysentery coming along? I cured you, right?
Yeah. Maybe?
I mean, I haven't seen you like, run into the bathroom every 5 minutes, so.
Yeah, I still can't feel kind of like stiff all over though, so I don't know how much it really helped.
All right, well, seems like you only have one of the symptoms, so that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right, great. So they set up camp. The anyone who rolled 16 or above, would you like to investigate the rations further?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, so you notice that there are worms hidden in your food.
What? Bonus food for Sizzler.
Are you going to eat the worms, Sizzler?
What kind of worms?
Yeah, let me investigate the worms.
All right, you give me a Arcana or Nature check.
I'm crushing it.
Sizzler, you do not identify the worms.
Earthworms.
Ivaris, the worms look delicious to you.
I doubt that,
nature.
but I don't know what they are.
Yeah, you don't know what the worms are at all. You don't even know that worms are things.
This is the first time he's seen a worm.
Yeah, he's like, what? Oh my god, what is this
I
creature?
call them cheelings.
Yeah, you don't, Bungo, you're not sure either.
These are what keylinks that you called them?
I'm sorry, are these...
They eat around the worms?
Did someone call me... Are these worms? What are these things? You can eat the rations around the worms if you so desire, and hope that you don't snag any worms in your mouth. Or you could eat the worms if you want. It's not a big deal. One way, I mean, whatever you want to do is my point.
I mean, I'm a bit of a worm snob when it comes to eating them, and I'm not about to eat some random worms.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyone else want to eat worms?
I guess I don't have a choice.
No, you ate them already. It's too late for you, my friend.
Well, I feel like we would have mentioned the worms to her.
No, it's that you all were taking a bite of your food, and anyone who passed the perception check noticed the worms and didn't, and anyone who didn't ate the worm.
I'll try to cut out and break up all my pieces and make sure I'm not getting worm bits or worm riddled bits.
All right.
And I'll do the same for the kids.
Okay, the kids, the kids seem okay. The kids passed their check. They noticed the worms. But they appreciate you,
cutting their food.
Yeah. They're like, they both go like, oh, just like mom and dad used to do. Thanks. You're a kind soul.
Can I gather up all the loose worms to collect them? I guess I don't have a pouch to make bait.
Hey, Jack, do you know anything about these worms?
Jack looks at them. He's like, let me some notes. I think I've seen them before, but I'm not quite sure. It might take a few minutes. And he starts like furiously flipping through like a book that he had in his pack, and he like stacks up 2 or 3 books from his pack, and he just starts furiously flipping through one of them.
So I think while we're in the woods that might have orc raiding parties, we should have 2 people on watch at a time. So I'll be on for the first 2. And I need 1 other person.
I'll take a 2-hour shift.
I'll take the last shift.
Wait, isn't Lena like deaf and blind for the next day or something?
That wasn't just until we did that until her she slept. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I am typing to Lena. Okay. All right. So you're all sort of tucking into bed. Jack is flipping through the book, but as darkness starts to set in, he is obviously having difficulty reading, so he doesn't get very far through the first book. Is someone gonna help provide a light? I mean, is there some small light source you can give him or something? Or
I don't have anything, and I don't think we should have any light after dark because, I mean, I can see pretty well in the dark. I know orcs can see pretty well in the dark as well. And any light that we have is going to be pretty bright for them.
all right. So Jack just says like, okay, well, I guess I'll check in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. So he closes his books and he puts them back in his pack, and he holds the worm that you gave him back up to you.
Unless, Lena, if you think you can keep all the light in the tent.
I can cast light.
Lena, I think he asked you a question. Lena, he asked you a question.
Out of character, Wiz is the worst. Just the absolute worst.
Well, you can tell us what Lena's doing.
Lena, yeah, if you want to describe what's happening to you to them, like as it happens, I mean, you're welcome to do that.
Oh, Jesus.
Just make sure that you do it, properly.
A raccoon.
Did she get dysentery?
Yeah, I can cast light.
Are you okay?
No, something feels. No. Lena looks down her pants and notices that there's something there that didn't used to be there. That is now growing.
Wait a second.
Fuck, Wiz, did we stumble into your magical dimension?
No comment. You're gonna have to talk to Lena about it.
She having a magic-induced sex change?
I knew I was
Worm.
turning into a tree, but I didn't think I'd get this type of wood.
Oh, fuck, I opened the book to the back again.
Ooh. That was a good one.
What the hell was in my bread, Jack?
Jack's like, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look through my books.
Lena's gonna cast light so that he can read his books.
All right, he starts like furiously pulls the books back out and he starts like furiously looking like through his books to see if he could find anything about what's going on. As he notices though that you're slowly changing gender, you see like his eyes light up for a second and he just throws the book that he was reading down and picks up the third book immediately and starts like flipping through it. Jack says, "Oh, here it is. I think it's a Kayabi worm."
Is the title of the book The Book of Erotic Fantasy?
Yeah, I think it's like the Kama Sutra Volume 4. No, it's yeah, he's like, I think it's a Kayabi worm. I haven't ever used it before, but I've heard about it.
What's it do?
I mean it changes your gender.
For how long?
I mean, however long it stays in your body. It can live in your body forever. I mean, if you want to be a man.
How do you get them out?
I mean, I could probably make a medicine for you. It's sort of difficult and it's kind of expensive.
Do it now.
Okay, I mean, the parts are expensive. I mean, it's going to cost you.
Do it.
All right, he holds out his hand. He's like, I'm going to need 50 gold.
Her eyes kind of like narrow at him.
He says, I didn't do it to you, but I'm happy to make you the potion. But I mean, it's the ingredients are expensive. I'm just a boy.
She's gonna cast Alter Self on herself and transform back into her original self. At least for the next hour. And then she's gonna tie up Jack.
Seems aggressive.
Yeah, he's like, what is going on? Why are you tying me up?
I don't trust you. I think you did this to me.
How could I have done? You guys were watching me the whole time. How could I have infected the food that you gave me?
You tell me.
What? How can I tell you what you gave me the food?
Nope. She ties him up.
Now this is all happening inside the tent, right?
Yep.
You can hear Jack's like protestations though. Like he is he's adamant that like it doesn't make sense. I mean, he's a boy genius. It doesn't make sense that he could somehow put worms in the food that like you took out of your packs to give to him and Jack and the rest of you. Like you each took food out of your own pack. Ivaris took food out of his pack and gave it to Jack and Oisin, and like how Jack is like just droning on and on about how could he possibly
Where's
have put
his
worms.
raccoon?
His raccoon is like curled up at his feet.
Mm-hmm. Nope, still don't trust him.
He's just shouting. Like he's shouting now.
She puts a sock in his mouth.
He spits it out.
She puts it back in.
Put two socks in his mouth.
As you, he spits it back out again, and then as he spits it out the second time, Oisin like pipes up. He's like, "Guys, I don't think. I mean, I was watching him. I didn't see him do anything."
Nope.
All right, I'll come down now that I'm hearing this screaming.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be tough to quiet down both Oisin and Jack. It sounds like Oisin's pretty adamant that he was next to Jack the whole time, and he didn't see Jack do anything.
In an effort to drown out the boys and try not to alert some orcs, I'm going to try to cover with some owl noises.
Okay, yeah, because the boys are being pretty loud, and it's getting dark.
Yeah, I would like, what's this song all about?
Because she just tied me up for no reason, and then Oisin's like, "Yeah, she really did."
What's this about? And I'll turn to.
Lena's gonna storm out of the tent.
I should say Lenny. I turned to Lenny.
Now she looks like Lena right now because she casts.
Oh, okay. Lena, what's going on?
He turned me into a man.
What? You don't look like a man
anything.
now.
I'm trying to save her.
He turned me into a man.
I don't believe it. You don't look like a man to me.
And then Jack says, "Where's the evidence?"
She's going to dispel her alter self spell and then pull down her pants to show everyone her big ol' flaccid penis.
All right, fair game. Lena flashes all of you.
Did you guys do this? How did you guys do this?
What did you say, Craig? Sorry.
How did you guys do this?
We didn't do anything.
They're liars.
And then Jack goes through like he recites essentially what he said prior word for word, which is how could he possibly have simultaneously put worms in all of your rations for all of your packs that were packed away, all while Oisin was watching him, and generally you were all watching him as well.
Wait. That's what those worms were? Well, I can attest, Lena, that no one here has had access to all of our bags at one time. It seems very unlikely that they would change.
And then Jack, the boy genius, just says, "I said it's illogical."
Stop talking. Stop talking.
Yeah, all right, okay, Bungo.
Adults are talking. It doesn't seem likely that they would have they'd have it out for you, and the extent of their malice is changing your gender.
This kid is creepy. I don't like him. There's something that just ain't right with him.
Okay.
And now I have a penis.
She's saying all of this with her penis still hanging out?
Yes. Gesturing to it
party.
in very
It's a
big,
party.
erratic hand motions.
Sizzler, perhaps misjudging the situation, pulls out his bird penis.
Oh, God.
This is getting weird. Jack, I think it's best that you come with me.
All right, so Jack
Since
and
Jack and I,
Jack and Oisin look nervously at each other, and then Jack follows you.
since Jack and I kind of hit it off.
Follows who?
Jack follows Bungo.
And then I begin folding branches for him so he can have a hammock to lay on.
I don't want him back in here, and I go back into the tent by myself. And if he left his books, I'm going through his books.
He did not leave his books. And Oisin like runs out as soon as you come in with your pants off. Oisin runs out and runs to Ivaris.
Stay out.
I'm standing silently on watch. And Oisin runs up. Is that right?
He runs up and he hides behind you and looks at the tent from behind you.
I just reach down and pat his head and then go back to standing watch.
Patting his head?
Okay,
Just
he has his pants on. Thank you very much. Everyone else has the children have their pants on, Sizzler. Relax.
Yeah, Sizzler, seeing no one else is taking out their manhood now, fully realizes that he has misjudged the situation and sheepishly tucks away his bird penis.
Okay. All right, so...
Thank God that this is being recorded.
Yeah, for posterity. All right, so... anything else happening in the evening? Is everyone going to try to tuck in, and is there going to be people going to take watch? Lena, do you turn the light spell off? I mean, how's this going to go? I need specifics.
She doesn't need the lights, so she turns them off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking the first 2 watches.
So how many when you say first 2 watches, let's break this down. So how many hours is that approximately?
Well, how many hours is it fully dark?
I don't know, 6, 8, something like that.
So somewhere between an hour and a half to
a long rest, roughly
2 hours each.
Sure. All right, so you cover approximately half of the night.
Sizzler will take a good 3-hour shift and fiddle with some components in his bag, tinkering for his next greatest invention.
All right, so you're gonna take are you gonna take the shift after Ivaris, which means that you'll go back to sleep or something along those lines on the other end, or will you take the morning shift, which means that you'll sleep sort of through? There will be like a 1 or 2 hour period in between Ivaris and you.
I'll take the shift after Ivaris.
Okay. So is anyone going to take the 1 to 2 hour dawn shift?
Lena will.
Okay. Lenny will, you mean?
Lenny.
Lenny. Yep.
Okay. All right. So one of you, please roll me a d20. All right. Yep. The night passes without as much as a peep. Everything seems to be fine.
Oh, there's an extra peep.
Okay. Dawn comes. And Lena is still appears, sounds like a man. Everyone wakes up well rested. You gain sort of whatever you gain from a long rest back your full HP, even though I think everyone is at full HP. Any spells, everything like that, you gain it all back. And the boys are, where you left them. One's next to Ivaris, one's next to Bungo. When Jack wakes up and you wake up, Bungo, he starts talking about like, oh my God, Bungo, I had this dream, and just starts like rambling about, like very intellectual pursuits. I had this dream that I saw this moon and I read about the moon once, and just, does not shut up, basically.
Okay. Well, let's since he hasn't.
Bungo?
Since he has an inability, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is everyone else hearing Bungo? I haven't heard him in quite a while.
I can hear Bungo,
I've been quiet. Can you not hear me now?
You might have him muted. He's calling you all kinds of mean things.
And
that's when I took the
Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay.
That works.
Right.
Yeah, since he isn't making any attempt to really be quiet, I think we should just head out in the open toward the ravine.
Well, he's not being like, I wouldn't say that he's being like, it's not like echoing or anything like that. He's just talking to you. It's not like he's talking to the group. He's like talking to you. He's like specifically trying to engage, like with the prior conversation that you had. He's trying to do that again, essentially.
Yeah, sure. So we can go back and forth. It's not often that someone wants to hear all of Bungo's amazing stories.
Yeah, he's eating it up, and he's like giving you the fine scientific details of like certain things of your stories. Okay, so what is everyone else doing?
Lena's naked because she's super pissed at Jack. So if she's gonna like shame him into like staring at her naked male body.
Okay, so
she's also just gonna pee on everything that she can.
Okay, so just to be clear, Lena is like showing her naked body to 2 children.
Yep.
Okay, just again, I want to make sure that we're all
That's
aware.
the stream, folks.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm getting a text from the FBI. It's saying shut the stream down. But okay.
Hang on, someone's at the door.
Lena, they're here for you. They have a warrant for your arrest.
She is peeing on everything.
Can I have a static minor image of pants on her?
Lena,
I mean, do you have some ability?
Just buy the goddamn potion.
Would you have some ability that would allow you to do that, or?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bungo. You have some ability that would allow you to have a static image of pants over her, some spell or something.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do have minor illusion. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's
I just keep on recasting
literally
that.
for
Yeah,
1 minute.
Keep on recasting.
Keep casting it over and over for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, but it's for everyone. Oh, great. Yeah, the boys don't see it anymore because she has pants onto them.
Yep.
But if she touches her own illusory pants, don't they disappear?
No, but it's still illusion for the boys.
The boys seem like there's a relieved look on their face.
Like a fire hose over here, just pissing on everything.
So, Lena, just to be clear, this...
it doesn't work like that, right?
Right, you have to drink things.
This condition
it's not like a spigot you get to turn on and off.
This condition continues.
I assume that's how it worked.
This condition continues until you are cured, and then the timer that you rolled is for how long it remains until after you are cured. So after you are cured, or whether you take the remedy or cure yourself otherwise, it will take 10 hours for you to revert fully back to being Lena.
Mm-hmm. Still peeing on everything.
I'm sure there's another way to get a worm out of your intestines, though, so good luck.
Catching dysentery.
Catching dysentery seems like the way to go.
Yeah, but too late, dog.
Too late. You're already inoculated.
Yeah, but is that forever, or is that just like temporary?
Oh yeah, I'm a boy genius. It's forever. She can never ever get dysentery now.
There any wild berries as we're walking?
You can roll a survival. Yep, you find berries. You eat them and you die.
I do eat them. Do they make me poo?
Roll a 1d10.
Make you constipated.
Wow. Yeah, it made. Yeah, you. No, you just have a stomach ache, and you take 2 damage. All right, so you all wake up. You had this interaction with Lena, just pants being displayed on her constantly. She's trying to pee everywhere, although that only lasts for a minute or two, despite her poor understanding of the male anatomy. So are you guys going to set off? What's going to happen? Are the Batmen going to set off in following the ravine
Bungo
in
Batman?
the woods? Yeah,
The Batman plus Bungo.
The Batman and Bungo.
Bungo's Batman.
What does everyone want to do?
Let's keep walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take up the front.
Sure. So, same as sort of last night. Oisin sort of sticks to your side. Ivaris. Jack sticks pretty close to you, Bungo, and just continues to engage in conversation, like basically endless conversation. Jack is trying to procure from you, just constantly talking about just everything and anything. His raccoon sort of darts in between his legs, and then it'll disappear into the woods for I don't know however long, and it'll come back, and it's just sort of a roving creature, but it typically sticks or at least returns to Jack after it runs away. You guys travel for about Alina and Sizzle, are you doing anything specific, or are you just sort of walking in the line as well?
Just walking.
All right. Alina?
Just walking.
All right. So about half a day passes, and it starts to rain lightly, and there's a crack of lightning, and it seems like the weather is starting to turn.
Well, how far away are we from the town?
From the town, I mean, you haven't even crested the top, the corner, if you will, of the crevice yet. You still have
Really?
maybe you still have, if it took you approximately a day and a half, if you were walking in the woods from where you walked about a half a day, so you have about a day's walk to get to the crest of the crevasse.
All right.
So you've made it, like I said, about another half a day, and it starts to rain.
Can I make umbrellas for everyone?
You could certainly try.
One umbrella.
I'll assist you with that.
Give me umbrellas out of.
Do you have something
wood
to make umbrellas out of, or just random
Yeah.
wood that you find?
I have
Wood.
wood carver's tools and proficiency as well,
How
so
do you,
I'll
how
help
do you
him
make
with
the
that.
operative part of the umbrella? Like, how do you make
You
the
don't have
covering?
to.
Yeah, you find like one that's L-shaped with like leaves and stuff, and you just shape it.
Oh, so no, I'm saying so like the covering are leaves. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tie
Alright, well-
leaves and stuff together, and it's like, and twigs and stuff. So it's a makeshift umbrella.
Are you stopping to do that, or?
No, I can do this on the way.
Okay, so you give everyone umbrellas that are made of leaves and
And wood.
work like not so great because they're made of leaves, but certainly better than nothing.
Leaves stacked on top of each other repel water. Just
Okay. All right. Next time you're on your way to work and you pull out your umbrella made of leaves, let me know how that works.
there are roofs made out of like leaves.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no, it's better than the nothing that you were traveling with previously. Someone roll a 1d20 for me for your travel through the afternoon.
Have you never seen like a palm leaf roof shelter?
I have. It typically does not work fantastically. Okay, so you hear some rustling to the north of you. The crevice is to the south of you. You hear some rustling, and you hear sort of a little bit of rustling, and then it gets a little bit louder, and it turns into like sort of a crashing, if you will, like not. It's like Russell. Could just be a creature. Could be the raccoon. It could be another. It could be another creature. It could be quite anything. It could be anything. Then it starts getting slightly louder, and then you see 2 orcs and an oversized wolf walk out of the wooded hills about 50 yards away from you. You also
Are you sure it's not an oversized raccoon?
It could, or an oversized raccoon, certainly. You also notice the silhouette of other humanoid creatures. You can't determine how many, but you see silhouettes of creatures moving in the hills that overlook the path that you're on. Even though the orcs have their weapons drawn, they are approaching carefully.
They're how far away? Like 150 feet?
Yeah, they're about 50 yards, yeah.
3.
Sorry, I cut out. They're like 150 feet?
Yeah, they're 50 yards approximately.
And are they advancing like in a formation?
They are advancing not in a formation per se. I mean, it's just 2 orcs and a large wolf. That's all you see. They're not advancing per se in a formation. It's just you see the 3, and then you notice the silhouettes, I should say, of other creatures, humanoid creatures, sort of in the shadows, like deeper into the woods, but you cannot tell how many. But what you specifically notice is 2 orcs and an oversized wolf walking toward you about 50 yards away.
Can I dispel my minor image?
Sure.
My illusion. Lean is properly naked. Or Lenny.
Run or fight?
Hide.
Fight. Lena's got a whole bunch of testosterone now, and she's itching to beat stuff up.
You
Can I
hear?
start waving? Howdy.
Yeah,
Start
sure.
waving.
So you hear? So you're waving. You hear one of the orcs yell something, not in an aggressive way though. Just shout something out because of the distance. Do any of you speak Orcish or no?
Comprehend languages. Mm.
Are you going to cast that, Lena? Or
Yup.
all right, go for it.
Okay, I cast it.
Click it in the chat. Okay, so you just hear the orc saying, and only Lena can understand this. You can hear the orc saying, like, "We don't want any trouble."
What do you want?
We just want our gem back.
What gem?
Did one of you take our gem?
What gem?
Okay, just stop saying what gem back to me. You know what gem you took.
Nah.
Let us look in your packs.
Fuck no.
Then
Let us look in your packs. You
All right,
steal our
fine.
gem?
Fine, we will. Let us
You
look
get
in
a gem
yours.
too.
Look, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
She's already showing hers or his.
You can't understand. You can't understand this, Sizzler.
Empty out your bags.
You empty out your bag first, then I'll empty out mine.
No, I told you empty out your bags.
All right, he like motions to his. So one bag, I empty one, you empty one, I empty one, you empty one.
No, you empty all yours.
Definitely not.
Yes.
They stopped approaching though. They're just standing there like again.
She puffs out her chest like, you want this?
Do they realize they're arguing with a naked man?
Yeah, they do. Well, they're pretty far away. They're like, "Wow, you're a pretty big dude."
Yeah, you want some of this? Now empty your bags.
I mean, I really don't want some of that. That's not really, men aren't my thing, but I appreciate the offer.
Then empty your bags.
No judgment here on your sexuality.
Empty your bags.
Orcs are a very open-minded people.
Orcs are about to open their bags.
I don't think that that's going to happen without some sort of a deal. Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just going to repeat this. I don't want any trouble, okay? I just want my gem back.
What's your gem?
It's a ruby.
What kind of ruby?
A big-ass one.
What's it do?
Whatever the fuck rubies do. I don't know. I'm an orc.
How'd you get a ruby?
Obviously, I stole it. I'm an orc raider.
Who'd you steal it from?
I don't just some human.
Some caravan?
Some puny, not some caravan, no. I did not steal anything from that stupid caravan.
Did you? Oh, so you know what caravan I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. It just had stupid little boys' clothes in it. I didn't
How
take
would
anything
you
from
know about what's in that caravan? You stealing from that caravan?
Okay,
Hmm?
I literally just, all right.
No.
Is there someone in your party? Is there someone in your party?
Magic missile at him.
Jeez, that. Okay.
Zero trust.
So, all right. So roll your magic missile. All right. So he gets slammed with a missile, and
Right in the face.
Not in the face. No. He takes it in the chest, and he like flies backwards, and then the other orc starts shouting in common. He says, "Whoa! We said we didn't want any trouble."
Well, you brought trouble.
Now, everyone can hear him now.
Right. Is he speaking in common?
Yeah, this second one is speaking in common. The one that just got hit was the one that was speaking in Orcish. This one's speaking in common. He said, "Whoa! We don't want any trouble. We just want our gem back."
We don't have any gems.
Look, is it too much to ask to just ensure that you don't have? Can our wolf sniff around a little bit? We really do not want any trouble.
I cast magic missile at him.
All right, roll magic missile. How many more spell slots do you have?
2.
All right, roll it. All right, so he flies back after taking a missile to the chest. The other guy's like looking like the other guy sort of like picks his head up and he's prone and he like leans up and he's like looking toward you guys suspiciously.
Now where's our gem?
He yells in common this time, and he says, "I don't want to deal with her anymore. I'm gonna call in the raiding party if you guys don't start like helping us out. We don't want any trouble."
So you're with the raiding party.
Next magic missile or next thing that flies my way, I'm calling in the troops.
Lena, would you just stand down for 2 minutes and let us figure this out so that we don't have to get into a violent confrontation for once?
Lena helicopter dicks at the orcs, but keeps her mouth shut.
I'm sorry, what does that even mean? What is in
Helicopter
your mind?
dick? Yeah.
Lena, in your mind, what does she helicopter dicks at the orcs mean?
Pelvis out and rotate. I mean, come on.
Like, you know what is like humorous to me about this? Like, Adam, what the fuck have you been doing in front of Katie that like she thinks this is how like men work?
Dog.
He's just going around peeing on everything.
I mean,
right?
when you want to
Do you
impress
just, like,
a chick,
pee?
whip it out.
Do
Helicopter.
you just like pee constantly around your home? Like,
Mine.
Yeah, I had an extra large bladder surgically implanted, so I can pee
it just
for
like
upwards
leaks
of
out of
6
you
hours at
constantly.
a
You just
time.
like stroll around you.
Constantly chest bucked
okay.
out and say, "What's going on, bro?"
Yeah,
What's with
extreme
this?
body modification Olympics.
Interesting, very interesting. I'm learning a lot about you two. Okay, so the orc, like the guy who spoke first, he stands up now, and the other guy's like sort of getting to his feet, dusting himself off too, and he just says, "Look, I really don't feel like I'm asking for a lot here. I don't want any trouble. Like just to be clear, we really just want to make sure you didn't steal our gem, and then we'll definitely leave you alone."
We've been underground in the Sunless Citadel for 2.5 weeks. We haven't stolen any gem from you. We haven't even been up here to do it.
Look, I have orders, okay? I need to make sure that I'm following my orders. If you wouldn't mind, just let our wolf sniff around a little bit, and if you do, and you're telling the truth, then we'll let you go. Otherwise, you can turn over the gem, and again, there won't be any trouble. If you just give us the gem, we'll walk away.
Yeah, give me 30 seconds, and then I'll turn to Jack and Oysten and say to them quietly, do you guys have any gems?
They
that
like
you
look at
stole
you,
from some orcs?
and like look at each other, and they like motion like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like one of them motions, like puts his hands in the air, like he's confused, and then the other one's like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean, honestly.
Okay, well,
Why are we even negotiating with?
because I don't want to get into a huge fight with these orcs while we have these two kids here. I would much rather just walk away.
Stop being a bitch and stop letting them walk all over us. Like, it's none of their business what we do or do not have. And obviously, these guys are traveling with a bunch of assholes that are going around robbing innocent people and killing them. It's the same group that tried to kidnap our friend here.
And then you hear like the guy who was just talking saying like, hey, that one man's talking pretty loudly, and I just want to remind you guys that we killed 16 or however many guards and didn't suffer a single casualty.
Yeah, well, that's about to change now.
And he says
Okay,
like,
but
I
don't
do not
want to get
suggest
into
that you do that.
I don't want to get into a fight with them while we have two kids to worry about. If it was just us, maybe, but it's not.
So take the kids and run, and we'll deal with them.
So as you guys are talking, like you see the warg sort of sniffing, like he's walking a little bit closer. He's not close by any means, but he's maybe like 25 yards from you guys. He's like meandering and sniffing and sniffing and sniffing around. You just see him like meandering around sort of the outskirts about 25 yards away, just sniffing.
Oh, look, a warg. Wasn't the leader of that gang supposed to be traveling with a warg? My, how the turns table.
I don't know what that means because those things haven't been invented.
Out of character, are we seriously not going to fight them?
Fuck no!
The DM is clearly indicating we will lose.
Why are we going to let them just, like, walk all over us, though? Orcs are stupid.
How are they walking all over us? They're just asking us pretty politely, actually.
I don't want them going through her stuff.
You also blasted off half your fucking spells.
No, I didn't. Only my level 1 spells.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion you guys seem like you're up and up.
I'm hiding in the tree, so.
Well, no, we're walking, aren't we? This isn't happening when we're waking up.
No, it was while you were walking. Yeah, it's just So I mean, you could have gone up a tree, Sizzler, if you'd like, but it happened around.
Well, that's what I said when we spotted them.
Sure.
I said I'm running up the tree.
Got it. Okay, sorry. All right, so at this point, the orcs have slowly started walking toward you again in a non-threatening way. Slowly started walking toward you. They're just sort of following the warg. They're keeping they keep like glancing like at the warg and glancing at you and glancing at the warg and glancing at you. And the warg has made it's about maybe 10 or 15 yards away now.
How about this? We'll allow your wolf here to sniff us, and one of you can accompany the animal. And if your animal finds something, we can talk about emptying out our bags from there. That sound agreeable?
He said, I'll do you one better. I don't even need to accompany my warg. He can handle all of you by himself. How about he just sniffs around, and we'll go from there.
Seems like a good idea.
All right, so the warg starts to get closer to Bungo, and it's not like snort.
Wait.
Okay.
Have they seen the kid yet? They know we don't have the kids, right?
No, they can see the kids.
They
Unless
see
you're
the
unless you're
kids.
unless you're specifically trying to hide them.
Have
Which
we
you're
been,
naked, so they're not hiding behind you.
have we been hiding the kids?
Well, Jack was standing next to Bungo, and Oisin was standing next to Ivaris. And Ivaris was leading, so
So Oisin is behind Ivaris.
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know that you guys were walking in a single file line. I don't think anyone said that, but
Okay, so I'm going to do meta magic to twin cast Alter Self to make it so that I can cast Alter Self on the noble kid. And I want to change that kid's appearance to make him look like a little girl that looks like Ivaris.
Can
And
you cast that even with twin spell on someone else?
you can cast any spell that can't normally be cast on someone else.
Oh, okay.
okay. So
Cool.
those are your remaining 2 spell slots though you're using for that.
No, that is meta magic, so it's 1 sorcery point. And
Okay.
then Alter Self is a level 2 spell, of which I have 3 available slots.
I still
Okay, so
think
now you have
to
2
use,
spell slots left. That's it. After you do
2
that.
level 2 and 2 level 1.
I
Okay.
think the meta magic only gives you the ability to cast. You still have to use the spell slot.
Right, that's what I did.
Okay.
Right, but if you're casting 2 spells, you need 2 spell slots, right?
I'm only
Or is
casting
it just a
1
twinning?
spell, it's just meta magic.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
And that should change his scent too, right?
Sure. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like a small Ivaris. Jack still looks like Jack.
Yeah, Jack's dead to me.
Okay. All right, so yeah, that's fine. They don't seem to care or otherwise notice. The warg start sniffing around around Bungo, and the warg, is sort of sniffing around Jack. And
Can I try to pet the ward?
Sure. Roll a dex. I don't know, some sort of dex-based petting mechanism. Sleight of hand.
On a nat 1, he loses his
Adam,
hand.
that's fine too. You reach out and the warg like shimmies away from you so that you don't touch it. But it was close. But it didn't snarl or anything along those lines. It's pretty. It seems like it's pretty clearly like doesn't really care too much about you guys, and if you don't do anything aggressive towards it, it will not do anything aggressive towards you. It really has like a singular focus, which is find this gem. So it sniffs around Jack a bit and looks sort of up at Lena and like pauses.
Lenny.
I'm gonna do more helicopter dick. Like, yeah, you like that?
It looks confused.
Yeah,
It takes
does.
one more step towards Lena, but it doesn't move after that one step. It just keeps looking at her. Her.
Still helicoptering.
All right, so it takes another like 2 steps toward Lena. And now it's maybe like 3 steps away.
I helicopter faster.
Okay, so it like sniffs. It takes like another 1 or 2 steps and like sniffs around Lena and then like shimmies over to Ivaris quickly. Ivaris and mini female Ivaris.
Hold out my pack.
All right, it sniffs your pack. It sniffs mini Ivaris. It like loops back around the tree and stops when it gets to Barnaby. And it snarls.
That isn't a gem.
It like barks and snarls like really aggressively toward Barnaby. Barnaby is like backed up against the tree that Sizzler's in. We'll say that the warg. Let me pull up a token for the warg.
What's your on about? He's barking up the wrong tune.
Okay, so we'll put the warg like here, and Barnaby. Let's see if there's a raccoon one. Oh, there is. Sweet. Oh, there's not. I lied. Or did I? Oh, I did. Okay, whatever. Let's put a stupid bird token. So that's where this bird token thing is. That's where Barnaby is. He's backed up to the tree, and the warg is like right here and is snarling at Barnaby, whose back is against the tree, and barks. And like the orcs go like, "Uh-oh."
What's your uh-oh about? This isn't this animal's not a gem.
I think he found the gem.
Since when is the gem a pet?
So the Barnaby sprints over to does like a little like mini juke and sprints over in between Bungo and Jack, and where Barnaby was sitting is a very large ruby.
Yeah, I mean, let's. Oh, we found it. Looks like this is your ruby.
Are you gonna give it back, or are we gonna have to take it back?
Isn't the warg like right in front of the gem?
Yeah, it is, but it hasn't moved.
Like, would we even have an opportunity to get it before the warg like gobbles it?
I mean, you could try.
I mean, I got Barnaby and Jack. I'm more worried about protecting them. I got
So what's
the boys.
everyone gonna do?
Just keep standing there. I mean, I don't care about that ruby.
Okay, so the Sizzler, not even you?
He's definitely enticed, but there's a giant wolf monster and his masters. His odds not looking good.
Okay.
Life more than giant rubies.
I'm gonna cast something. I just don't know what yet.
Well, you better figure it out before he does his thing.
All right, so Lena, you see the warg, like lower its head to put the very large ruby into its mouth.
We talking softball size? Ping pong?
Yeah, like softball size.
I'll cast magic missile.
All right, let's see it. Through the tree?
Yeah.
Can you even see it picking it up?
I can go around it.
Can you even see the warg from where you are, is what I'm saying? All right, so even if you move, so whatever, you move over one and you hit it with magic missile and it like yelps in pain. And at this point, the two orcs like take another, like they run sort of toward the warg, and they are. Let me put two orc tokens on the map. You guys can see where they are. Is here, and the other is here. And so they run to about there, and they say, hey, let us take our gem, and we'll leave in peace. And the one of them has his hand in the air, like he raised his hand in the air, and he like looks back quickly at the tree line, and he has his hand in the air, and he's like looking at you guys, looking at the tree line, looking at you guys, looking at the tree line, and he has his hand raised in the air. And the other orc just has his eyes trained on you and the warg. Look, let us take our gem, and we'll leave in peace. That was the deal. one more fireball out of this one, and the deal's off.
Lena, stand down. We have nothing to gain by making this fight happen.
Except literally the leader of some raiding group that has like some precious treasure, and we're just gonna give it up to them to do whatever.
Just let them take the gem.
Hey, if she attacks you again, you can just go after her. We are completely independent people who've come together for convenient reasons. Her actions
All right,
are
then
her
everyone back away from her, because if she fires again, she's
boys.
dead.
Back up. And I back up the boys.
All right, the Jack is with you. Jack backs up. Oisin, now in female small Ivaris form, is behind Ivaris, so he doesn't necessarily have to move per se. But he'll move if Ivaris moves. All right, so the warg attempts to pick up the ruby again. Lena, are you doing anything?
I'll step forward and have a fireball in my hand, but I won't cast it yet. I'll just keep my eyes on them.
All right, the one orc who had his eyes trained on the group and the warg, he points his sword toward you, and like he keeps looking at you and the warg and you and the warg and you and the warg, and the other guy still has his hand in the air and he's like nervously looking at you and then like back at the tree line and you back at the tree line, and the silhouettes that you saw behind the tree line before are like shifting. So the warg picks up the ruby in its mouth, and it like takes up basically its whole mouth. It's absolutely massive, and it starts like walking back to the tree line, and like it glancing at Lena and like taking a few more steps and like glancing back at the tree line, and then back at Lena and then back at the tree line, and it's slowly moving. It's slowly moving away.
Doing, Lena? Your life is worth more than a ruby.
You doing anything, Lena?
Nope, just staring at him with my fireball.
Okay, as the warg passes, these two start to move as well. They're like, again, they're sort of eyes trained on you. And as long as like nothing else is going to happen, they all go away. And then as the last orc disappears into the tree line, he says, "Nice doing business with you." And he disappears.
He seemed like a nice guy.
Told you this little one wasn't to be trusted.
And Jack is like, what did I do?
What did you do?
I didn't do it. I was with you guys the whole time. He was like, he looks at Bungo and he's like, I was with you the whole time.
Where was he hiding that ruby? That's what I want to know. And how can we get in on like that dimensional space?
I can't control Seamus. He's nuts. Or not Seamus. I can't control Barnaby. He's nuts. I can't even touch him. He doesn't listen to me.
Yeah, whatever. Lena keeps walking.
Let's go.
And can I put the pants back on Lena?
Sure. So you put the pants back on. All right. You put the pants back on Lena, and you guys continue on your way.
Can I sneak up behind Barnaby and touch him?
You can try.
I'm gonna try to sneak up behind Barnaby and touch him.
All right, let's roll. What do you want to roll? Are you gonna try to like sneakily do it? You want to roll a stealth and then a sleight of hand, or you just want to do a sleight of hand?
Sneak up behind him.
Okay, so you try to sneak to the best of your ability behind him, and then I guess roll a sleight of hand to try to touch him. All right, let's see. Nope, can't get him. He's too quick, and he skitters away from you, and then he makes like a biting motion and like growls a little bit.
I growl back.
The same growl that he gave you.
Growl.
He looks
Exactly.
he looks confused. He looks confused. All right, so Jack goes back to. I guess you guys continue on your journey. It's the rain. That rain was still ongoing during that process, although it was just rain. As you continue into the evening, no other. You don't have any other run-ins, but the rain just gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, and it seems to get dark fairly early. The clouds are overhead. There's thunder. There's lightning. It's a pretty formidable evening.
We should probably find a good place to shelter here shortly.
All right. So while you guys think about that again, I'm gonna run to the bathroom, run to the little boys' room.
I hate to do this, but I'm actually like falling asleep here at the wheel. I think I'm gonna bow out.
Okay,
I'm not staying awake, and I'm trying whatever I can.
that's fine. We I was going to. We could run through this evening, but I think that that's probably the last that we'll do. I've got to wake up early tomorrow anyway. But so we could do this. We could all just call it a night now, or Craig can call it a night. We can go through the evening's events, which depending on what you guys do, may be something, may not be anything, and then we could pick it up. We could pick it up next week with the next day. What do you guys want to do?
I vote calling it a night. I've got to do a bunch of stuff at work tomorrow.
All right, cool.
All right.
Is that cool with you guys, Ivaris and
Neato. No, that's fine.
All right, cool. All right, so that's what we'll do. So we'll end it there with the for the evening. We'll end it there with you guys attempting to make camp, whatever that means, and we can address what that means next week. Okay.
Good
All
night.
right.
Cool. Happy birthday.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, happy
See you guys.
birthday, Wiz.
Thanks.